In the quiet suburbs of Star City, West Virginia, where rolling hills meet dense forests and teenage life revolves around school drama and late-night adventures, three girls formed what seemed like an unbreakable bond. Skylar Neese, born on February 10, 1996, was the bright spark among them, ambitious. Straight-A student with dreams of becoming a criminal lawyer. Her parents, Dave and Mary, doted on their only child, working hard to give her a stable life. Skylar's world was filled with typical teen pursuits, part-time job at Wendy's, sleepovers, and endless texting. But in 2010, when Shelia Eddy transferred to University High School, everything changed. Shelia, charismatic and outgoing, with the infectious laugh that drew people in, quickly became Skylar's closest confidant. They had known each other since elementary school, but high school cemented their friendship, or so it appeared. Voiceover narration. Shelia Eddy, born September 28, 1995, came from a broken home, her parents divorced, living with her mother Tara in a modest apartment. She was the life of the party, always up for mischief. Her social media filled with selfies and playful banter. Skylar adored her, calling her bestie in countless posts. Then came Rachel Shoaf, a striking redhead with a dramatic flair, joining the trio in freshman year. Rachel, born June 10, 1996, was raised in a more affluent family. Her father, Rusty, a successful engineer. She was quieter at first, but her wit and shared love for horror movies bonded her with the others. The three were inseparable, nicknamed the Three Musketeers by classmates. They shared secrets, crushes, and dreams under the starry West Virginia skies. Driving around in Shelia's car, blasting music, oblivious to the darkness brewing beneath their laughter. Voiceover narration. But friendships among teens can be volatile, laced with jealousy and unspoken resentments. As sophomore year unfolded in 2011, cracks began to show. Skylar's diary entries hinted at tensions. She felt like the third wheel, especially after witnessing something intimate between Shelia and Rachel during a sleepover. Whispers of a secret romance between the two girls circulated, though never confirmed. Skylar tweeted cryptic messages, "Sick of being at fucking home. Thanks, friends. Love hanging out with you all too." Her posts grew edgier, revealing frustration. Shelia and Rachel, meanwhile, grew closer, their bond intensifying in ways that excluded Skylar. Classmates noticed the shift, fights in the hallways, cold shoulders in the cafeteria. Yet on the surface, the trio maintained their facade, posing for photos with forced smiles, hiding the festering animosity. By spring 2012, the undercurrents turned sinister. Shelia and Rachel began plotting in secret, their conversations veering into dark territory. They discussed horror films where friends turned on each other, joking about what-if scenarios that weren't jokes at all. Skylar, unaware, continued confiding in them, sharing her vulnerabilities. The girls' social media painted a picture of bliss, group selfies, heart emojis, but behind the screens resentment boiled. Rachel later confessed the motive was chillingly simple. They didn't like her anymore and didn't want her friendship. No grand betrayal, just petty teenage disdain amplified into something monstrous. As summer approached, the plan solidified. Lure Skylar out, isolate her in the woods, and end it all. July 5, 2012 started like any other day. Skylar worked her shift at Wendy's, texting her friends about hanging out later. Shelia and Rachel eagerly agreed, their messages laced with false enthusiasm. That night, around midnight, Skylar sneaked out her ground-floor apartment window, climbing into Shelia's sedan waiting down the street. Surveillance footage captured the moment. A grainy, black-and-white image of a girl vanishing into the car, never to return home. They drove north toward Blacksville, then crossed into Pennsylvania, a remote spot they knew from previous joyrides. The woods there were thick, isolated, perfect for secrets. They parked along a dirt road, the car's headlights piercing the darkness, as crickets chirped an unwitting soundtrack to horror. Voiceover narration. What happened next defies comprehension. The girl stepped out, pretending to smoke and chat under the stars. Skylar, trusting as ever, turned her back. On a silent count of 3, Shelia and Rachel lunged, kitchen knives hidden in their hoodies glinting in the moonlight. Skylar fought back fiercely, screaming, "Why?" as stabs rained down, over 50 wounds, her body a canvas of betrayal. She tried to run, but they overpowered her, the struggle echoing through the trees. Finally, she lay still, her last breaths ragged. The killers, panting and bloodied, dragged her body off the path, covering it hastily with branches, rocks, and dirt. a shallow grave in the underbrush. They cleaned up as best they could, wiping the knives on their clothes, and drove back, disposing of evidence in a creek along the way. Voiceover narration. Back in Star City by dawn, Shelia and Rachel slipped into their beds, hearts racing not with guilt but adrenaline. Skylar's parents discovered her missing the next morning. Window open. Bed empty. Panic set in. Dave and Mary called the police, plastered flyers everywhere. The community rallied, searches combed the area. Shelia even joined the efforts, hugging Mary tearfully, posting on Twitter, "Worst day of my entire life. I miss her so much." Rachel, too, feigned concern, but cracks were forming. Their alibis held initially, claiming they dropped Skylar off after a quick drive. But investigators noted inconsistencies. No phone charger taken. No signs of runaway. The FBI joined in September, sensing foul play. As weeks turned to months, the deception deepened. Shelia's charisma shone through. She charmed everyone, even detectives, with her wide-eyed innocence and helpful demeanor. Rumors swirled about her overly friendly interactions during questioning, a flirtatious edge that raised subtle red flags. Rachel, meanwhile, grew anxious, her nerves fraying. Social media became their unwitting diary, posts about loyalty and secrets that now read like confessions. The woods held their grim secret. Skylar's remains undiscovered under snow, while her friends carried on parties, school life as if nothing happened. But the weight of murder was building, a horror story unfolding in real time. The disappearance of Skylar Neese sent shockwaves through Star City, a town unaccustomed to such mysteries. Police launched an immediate investigation, treating it as a runaway case at first. Skylar's parents insisted she wouldn't leave without her phone charger or contacts case. But authorities focused on her friends. Shelia Eddy and Rachel Shoaf were interviewed multiple times, their stories aligning at first. They picked Skylar up around 11 p.m., drove around smoking weed, and dropped her off near home. But inconsistencies crept in. Surveillance footage from a nearby apartment complex showed a sedan pulling up at 12:30 a.m., Skylar climbing in, proof the timeline was off. Cell phone pings placed them far from town, in the Pennsylvania woods. Shelia Eddy played the role of the grieving best friend to perfection. Charismatic and poised, she batted her eyes at male investigators, her voice sweet and cooperative. "I just want to find her," she'd say, leaning in with a flirtatious smile that disarmed them. Corporal Ronnie Gaskins noted her demeanor, calm, almost playful, while Rachel fidgeted nervously. Shelia's Twitter feed exploded with posts, professions of love for Skylar, pleas for her return, mixed with selfies and party updates. "Miss my bestie so much," she tweeted, a digital mask hiding her guilt. Behind the charm, she was calculating, dodging questions with giggles and deflections, her flirtations buying time as suspicion mounted. Rachel Shoaf, however, was crumbling. The weight of the secret gnawed at her, leading to a full nervous breakdown by December. 1 in 12. Hospitalized for anxiety, she confided in a nurse, then confessed to police on January 3, 2013. Tearfully, she detailed the plot, luring Skylar to the woods under the guise of a smoke session, counting to 3 and stabbing her over 50 times. "Why?" investigators pressed. Rachel's chilling reply, "We just didn't like her anymore." She led them to the body, now skeletal remains in a shallow grave covered by winter snow. The confession shattered the town. 2 teens, driven by petty hatred, had orchestrated cold-blooded murder. With Rachel's statement, the net closed on Shelia. Police wired Rachel for a conversation, but Shelia stayed silent on the crime. A search of her Toyota Camry revealed traces of Skylar's blood in the trunk, irrefutable evidence. On May 1, 2013, Shelia was arrested in a Cracker Barrel parking lot, her facade finally cracking. She pleaded not guilty at first, but the horror of her actions emerged in court. Psychologists labeled it a toxic mix of jealousy and sociopathy, amplified by teen drama. Skylar's cryptic tweets, "Sick of being at fucking home. Thanks, friends," now read like omens of betrayal. The community reeled. Vigils turned to outrage. Skylar's father, Dave, confronted the killers in court. "You stole her future." Shelia, sentenced to life without parole, maintained her charm even in chains. Rachel got 30 years for second-degree murder. Their motive? Simple disdain. A horror born from fractured friendship. As details leaked, Social media exploded with theories, turning the case into a cautionary tale of digital deception and hidden evil. The trial of Shelia Eddy and Rachel Shoaf gripped West Virginia like a vice, transforming a quiet courtroom into a theater of horror. In 2013, Rachel, having confessed first, pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, her tear-streaked face a stark contrast to the monster within. She detailed the stabbing frenzy, the count to 3, Skylar's desperate pleas echoing in the woods. Prosecutors painted a picture of premeditated evil, knives packed, lies rehearsed for no reason beyond dislike. Rachel's defense cited her breakdown, claiming remorse, but Skylar's family saw only manipulation. Sentenced to 30 years, eligible for parole after 10, she was shipped to Lakin Correctional Center. Her dramatic flair now confined to prison walls. Shelia fought longer, pleading not guilty to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Her charm faltered under scrutiny. Blood evidence, Rachel's testimony, her own cryptic tweets damning her. In September 2013, she flipped, admitting guilt to avoid trial details spilling out. The judge slammed her with life plus 1,000 years. Mercy allowing parole after 15. Dave Neese's victim impact statement chilled the room. "You turned my daughter into a corpse." Shelia smirked faintly, her eyes void of regret, fueling nightmares of unrepentant evil. Transferred to Lakin, the former besties became cell-block neighbors, their twisted bond enduring behind bars. Prison life exposed their darkness further. Rachel pursued education, feigning rehabilitation, while Shelia maintained her facade, flirtatious letters to outsiders, social media proxies posting updates. But horror lingered in their denials of deeper motives. Whispers of a hidden romance. Jealousy over Skylar's knowledge turned petty hate lethal. Families shattered. Dave and Mary channeled grief into advocacy, pushing Skylar's law for Amber Alerts on missing teens. The community erected memorials, but woods near Blacksville remained haunted, locals avoiding paths where betrayal bled into earth. Years passed, but justice felt incomplete. In 2023, Rachel's first parole hearing stirred outrage, denied amid protests. 2024 brought another. She claimed growth, but board saw through it, citing lack of true remorse. By mid-2025, yet another denial hit headlines, her release date still April 2028. Shelia, eligible in 2028, waits in shadows, her case a specter. Updates in 2025 confirmed no early freedoms, but fear persists. What if they walk free? Charms intact, horrors reborn. 13 years after Skylar Neese's brutal murder, the shadows of betrayal still cloak West Virginia's hills. Shelia Eddy and Rachel Shoaf remain locked in Lakin Correctional Center, their youthful faces hardened by time and isolation. Rachel, now 29, has faced parole boards thrice, denied in 2023, 2024, and most recently in June 2025. At her latest hearing, she professed remorse, citing therapy and education, but the board saw through the act, citing her role in the premeditated horror. Not enough time served, they ruled. Her next chance not until 2028. Skylar's father, Dave, testified fiercely. "She doesn't deserve freedom." The denial brought fleeting relief to a grieving community, but dread lingers. What if she walks free, charm intact? Shelia, 30, serves life with mercy, ineligible until 2028. Her prison days are marked by quiet, manipulation, letters to fans, whispers of innocence. No hearings yet, but anticipation builds like storm clouds. Both women, once inseparable, now navigate prison politics, their bond a twisted relic. Updates in November 2025 confirm no changes. They rot in cells, but evil's echo persists. Skylar's law, born from tragedy, mandates Amber Alerts for missing teens, saving lives nationwide. Yet for Dave and Mary Neese, justice is bittersweet. Advocacy fills the void, but nightmares of that July night endure. The case haunts true crime circles, inspiring books like Pretty, Little Killers, and podcasts dissecting teen psychopathy. Social media buzzes with theories, hidden motives, suppressed romance or pure sociopathy. Reddit threads debate parole, petitions gather signatures against release. Star City's woods, where Skylar's body lay undiscovered for months, are shunned. Locals swear of ghostly whispers. Hitchhiking figures in mist. Memorials bloom annually on July 6th. Candles flickering against darkness, a vigil against forgotten innocence. In the end, Skylar's story warns of friendship's fragility, How envy festers into fatality. Shelia and Rachel embody quiet horror. Smiling teens turn stabbers. Their flirtations with fate-chilling investigators even now. As West Virginia's leaves turn blood red and fall, the betrayal lingers, a perpetual nightmare. Trust shattered. Lives stolen. Monsters unmasked but unbound in memory.